Storytelling, when I think of sales, I think of it as it's kind of an ever-growing like tool belt, right? Of all the things that you're working on, you're working to get better at, and storytelling I think is the best tool that we have, honestly. I think of myself when I'm in the purchaser role, right? If say I'm going to buy a new car, I don't want them to sit there and explain to me all the features of it, right? The features are great, I can look at that on paper. Tell me a story, like what's it gonna look like when I get in this car and I drive home, when my family's in the car with me. Paint the picture for me, and I think that's what storytelling is. I think that's why it's used so often in sales, is because you can paint the picture of what it looks like, the perfect picture once you find their pains. I use storytelling all the time. Having been in the seats of the people that I'm now selling to, storytelling I find is one of the more powerful tools I have. And so as an athlete, right, I can speak to what it was like. I can tell the story. I can walk them through, hey, when an athlete wakes up, this is what they're thinking. Here's where the software steps in. And then I've also coached that level too. So I can step in from their perspective and say, hey, I bet you're dealing with this. Or I can ask them, hey, what are you dealing with? And they tell me, like, the pains. And I find a story from someone that either we're working with already that's dealing with that, and there's a success story to go with it, or I can just take a story, right, just make one up, right, nothing far-fetched, but make up a realistic story and tell them, hey, this is what it could look like if you were to include Influencer or Teamwork's our other platform. I think great storytellers make great salespeople because you can paint that picture for the buyer. If I'm going in to buy something and someone can put a picture in my head, this is exactly what it's going to look like. If I can see it really vividly and I can smell it and taste it, by the time they're done telling that story, which is what the great storytellers are able to do, then I feel like I'm in a great position, I'm ready to buy it. If someone were to say, hey, this car has a spacious, like there's X amount of feet in the trunk and there's this many seats in the car, that's one thing. But for someone to say, hey, you have, and this isn't true of me, but like you have a wife, you have 2 kids, you look at all the space you're gonna have here to put the things in on the way to the beach, right? That they know I like to go to the beach. You can paint that picture for me, so now instead of me looking at numbers on a piece of paper with square feet in the trunk, I'm imagining my family on the way to the beach in the car with the trunk, and you can't replace that, right? When I'm thinking of that story, if I see the car they're selling me in it, then I can't replace it by going down the road and getting something different, right? That what they're selling me is a part of that story now.